There we go. Thanks for your patience. Good evening, everyone. So glad that you're here. Welcome. This evening, we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Adelita Cantu. And I'm so glad that you all are here with us because we're going to be learning some very important information and talking about habits, healthy habits, springtime salud. This is the Healthy Kids Project, and we're so glad that you all are here. As always, this evening's session is supported by the San Antonio Medical Foundation. We're grateful for their support and so glad that you're here. Going to make sure that our friends that are in the waiting room are able to be here with us. Now, my friends, I'm just going to share with you Zoom, and my computer specifically gave me a little bit of a start this evening. So if for any reason you're experiencing any difficulties with Zoom, or you're noticing that I'm experiencing any difficulties with Zoom, please don't be shy. Please let me know, and I'll work to get that corrected just as soon as possible. So today's session, we are so glad that you're here. We're going to explore some resources from KLRN's Healthy Kids Project, in addition to Sesame Workshop, PBS Kids for Parents, and PBS Learning Media. The focus of today's session is Springtime Salud, so building healthy habits for springtime that we can actually keep in process all year long. I'm delighted to introduce you to my amazing new friend, Dr. Adelita Cantu, professor at UT Health San Antonio. As always, a certificate with 2 hours of continuing education will be awarded upon completion of today's project, of today's session and accompanying post-survey. The certificates, we do ask you to wait for about 2 weeks as we individualize each one of those certificates, but those will be sent to you in your email as a PDF. Additionally, after today's session, we will send you a copy of the information from this evening's recording. And we really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much, friends, for joining us and for taking the time to learn and to grow with us and to share what you have learned with us as well. So welcome, Dr. Cantu. Dr. Cantu is a nationally recognized doctoral prepared expert specializing in public and community health nursing and clinical nursing research. Her program of science and teaching, service, and research has been focused on building healthy communities through the enhancement of public and community health, grounded in the socio-ecological model as a framework to prevent disease and promote health and well-being at primary, secondary, and tertiary levels of prevention. Through her teaching, research, and service, she has impacted health in communities, neighborhoods, and families. Dr. Cantu, we are delighted that you're here with us, and I am going to stop sharing and hand the mic over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Rachel. I am delighted to be here, and I am going to see if this works for me. Here we go. And I believe I am sharing my screen. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm going to turn off the closed captions again. Thank you very much for being here. Again, my name is Adelita Cantu, and I'm professor at UT Health San Antonio School of Nursing. And as you can see, I had an old picture. Rachel had an old picture of me, and I grayed a little bit, but I just want to also, Rachel has done an introduction, but just that I have no relevant financial disclosures for today. And the way I will be talking, what I'll be talking about today is the measles. Certainly there's a current epidemic going on in West Texas and some surrounding states. But I just wanted to give this as a primer to measles and what measles is, and then what the vaccine is. My teaching style is being engaged. Feel free at any time to unmute, ask me a question. Rachel has been kind enough to say that she'll have to keep an eye on the chat box. So if you want to put it in, and Rachel can ask me that question as well. So tonight we're going to be talking about just the history of measles, just again, to understand the measles as a disease and then its impacts. And of course, then we're going to talk about the MMR and measles vaccine and how effective they are. So a little bit of history here, and let me see if I can make this smaller here. A little bit of history is what we know of as measles actually has the name of rubeola, but that is what we know as measles. Measles has been around a long period of time. The first documented case, or at least description of it was in the 9th century. A Parisian doctor published one of the first written accounts of it. But in 1912, measles actually became a notifiable disease in the United States. That's when it was actually mandated to notify the local and the state health authorities about cases of measles. So it required providers and laboratories to report all of these diagnosed cases, which we still do today, which we still report. And that's why we know there's an epidemic going on right now. In the first decade of reporting, an average 6,000 measles-related deaths were reported each year. So this was each year in that decade, first decade of reporting. So you're looking from 1912 to 1922, 6,000 deaths per year. A vaccine became available in 1963. And the decade before, nearly all children got measles by the time they were 15 years old. So it was an acquired, very common acquired infectious disease before the vaccines became available. Estimated 3 to 4 million people in the United States were infected each year previous to the vaccine. So you can kind of see that, yeah, nearly all children, it made sense, had measles before 15 years of age. Oh, my goodness, did my slides go away? No, here they are. Okay, so again, remember the vaccines, and then before the vaccines, 1963 was when the vaccines came out. Among reported measles cases each year, an estimated 400 to 500 people died each year before 1963. 48,000 were hospitalized. 1,000 suffered encephalitis, and that is swelling of the brain. We'll talk about that in a little bit as one of the consequences of measles, but certainly one of the reasons people were hospitalized was because of this encephalitis that was a consequence of getting the infectious disease. So what is measles? Measles first is a viral infection. It is not a bacterial infection. It's a viral infection. And the reason I point that out is because since it's not a bacterial infection, antibiotics do not cure measles. Now, antibiotics may be given as a consequence of things that occur because of measles, like conjunctivitis, respiratory infections that may be bacterial, but the measles itself is that viral infection. There's no known cure for it, only treating those symptoms, and you may treat those symptoms with antibiotics. And it is very, very highly contagious, and I'll tell you why. So it is an airborne, what we call airborne transmission. This is the way it's transmitted, so it's in the air. So an infected person can spread it when they cough, when they sneeze, or they talk, because those viral particles are in the water vapors that come out of their sneeze or cough. So these tiny droplets into the air, and it can be inhaled by others. But this is really critical to why it's so contagious. Is measles is unique in that not only is it airborne, but it can stay, the viral airborne droplets can stay on an inanimate object like a table, a desk, a pencil, and it can stay in there stay on that up to 2 hours after that person has left. So you can imagine from that why it is so contagious, particularly if you think of people in a school setting or a classroom setting. Now, what are the symptoms? Symptoms usually begin 7 to 14 days after infection. So this is what we call the incubation period. So it could be that you will not see, you'll be infected, but you won't see the symptoms until 7 or 14 days after that person has been infected. You're going to see a high fever, and it could spike to 104. And so that's a danger too, is that high temperature can lead to hyperthermia and heat strokes, because your body is so hot, it needs to be cooled down so quickly. Definitely the cough, and remember that's one way of transmitting it. The runny nose or the red watery eyes are what we call conjunctivitis. Those are some of those symptoms as a result of that infectious disease. Now, 2 to 3 days after they occur, they may have tiny white spots, what we call Koplik spots, that may appear inside the mouth. And that's just something that you would see that would be very, very tiny white spots inside the mouth. And then 3 to 5 days after the symptoms, that's when your raised bumps may also appear, particularly on top of the flat red spots, may become joined together as they spread from the head to the rest of the body. So start with the head and then it would spread. A person's fever is more likely to spike at the time the rash does occur. Okay, now complications. We've been hearing that some of these children, young adults that have had the measles cases in the West Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma area have been hospitalized. So we really need to dig into these complications that may lead to that hospitalization. First of all, there's ear infections. Because of the runny nose and the sputum that you have, it can go because of the eustachian tube, can get into your ear, it can become infected. Now, again, that might be a bacterial infection and antibiotics could be given for that. 1 out of every 10 children with measles generally gets an ear infection. Diarrhea is reported in less than 1 out of 10 with measles. Here are the groups that are more likely, and depending on as you as educators and depending on where what space you're in, these are the groups where you're more likely to see these complications that may require hospitalization. First of all, children younger than 5 years of age. Now, adults older than 20 years of age, particularly adults that are immunocompromised or have weakened immune system. This could be leukemia, other blood cancers, HIV infection, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, so that immune system is already weakened and measles complicates that more. And then, of course, pregnant women. And although the pregnant women may themselves overcome measles, it can have an effect on the growing fetus and could lead to early birth, low-term birth, or perhaps some birth defects as well. So that's one of the reasons pregnant women want to be sure what their titer is or if they've had a measles or MMR vaccine. Now, let's get into some of those severe complications. Again, I said hospitalization. Look at this, about 1 in 5 unvaccinated people in the US who get measles is hospitalized. And we see that playing out in the current measles epidemic. So 1 in 5 children, or at least people, I should say, that are unvaccinated. Pneumonia. Pneumonia is an infection, infection of the lungs. Of course, that's going to impact your breathing, shortness of breath. 1 out of every children with measles gets pneumonia. And again, looking at that hospitalization rate, this is the most common cause of death from measles in young children is pneumonia. Excuse me, which leads to respiratory failure. A lot of times these children then go on ventilators and unfortunately may die. Now, remember I talked about the encephalitis. 1 out of every 1,000 children who will get the measles will develop that swelling in the brain, or what we call encephalitis. This itself can lead to convulsions, leave the child deaf, or with an intellectual disability. Again, because the brain is swelling, so that pressure is building up in the brain, inside the cranium, but also relative to convulsions and lead to deafness. Remember that if a measles case happens anywhere from 0 to 2 years of age, that brain is still growing. A lot of that growing is going on during those 2 years of life. So if there's pressure put on the brain, it can have long-term consequences. Now, death, nearly 1 to 3 of every 1,000 children who become infected will die from those respiratory or neurological complications. And then, like I said, complications during pregnancy may cause birth prematurely or what we consider a low birth weight baby. And in nursing, we are all, one of the things we learn about low birth weight is that low birth weight can have repercussions into adulthood as well. So again, a low birth weight is very, very significant because of all the long-term consequences that can occur from that. Now, there is one long-term complication that I need to tell you about. It's rare, but it still is a diagnosis and something that has resulted because of a measles infection. It's what we call subacute sclerosing panencephalitis, SSPE. Usually the issue with that is developing 7 to 10 years after the measles, after you have had the measles. Even though you seem like you fully recovered from the illness, this may, again, those long-term consequences. Now, since measles was eliminated in 2000, and what we mean by when infectious disease is eliminated, that means that there are no cases known in a particular geographic area. Now, the only one that has been eradicated is smallpox, and smallpox, no one in the world has smallpox, so it's been eradicated. Measles up to 2000 was what we consider eliminated. So SSPE was rarely reported in the United States at that time, or at least the decades after that. Among people who contracted measles during the resurgence in 89 to 91, 7 to 11 out of every 100,000 were estimated to be at risk for developing SSPE. And it may be higher for people who get the measles before they were 2 years, the measles disease before they were 2 years of age. Again, remember I talked about from 0 to 2, that brain is really still growing, and anything that interferes with that growth will have long-term consequences. Okay, vaccine. Let's talk about the vaccine. Now, the measles vaccine, although it was developed in the 63, it became a part of what we now consider the MMR, which became a vaccine in 1971. So the measles is included with mumps and rubella. So it's measles, mumps, and rubella. And that, since 1971, is what has been given for the infectious disease of measles. Now, to be fully covered, you need to have 2 doses of this MMR vaccine. Certainly the best way to protect against not only measles, but mumps and rubella as well. Now, generally, if everything goes well and we're on schedule, that first dose is given between 12 and 15 months of age. That's the first dose, where the second dose is not till the age of 4 to 6. When I was working in the Dallas County Health Department, and we were having shot clinics just before school, we usually looked at that fourth, they had to be past their 4th year to give that second vaccine. Usually, it does protect people for life against measles and rubella, but immunity against the mumps may decrease over time. And that's, again, important, particularly for childbearing women, because mumps was one of the leading causes of acquired deafness. So if you think about the case of Helen Keller, and one of the mumps that she developed leading to deafness. But the vaccine generally does protect for life against measles. Now, 1 dose, 2 doses. What if I just have 1 dose? Here is the effectiveness rate for measles. You can see it for mumps and rubella as well. But 1 dose will give you 93%, make you 93% effective against the measles infectious disease. If you have the full 2 doses, it's almost excuse me, it's almost 100%. We're at 97% against measles. And as you can see here on the mumps, there is a bit more protection after that second dose, whereas the first dose was 72% effective against the mumps, 86% effective in after that second dose. Now, this is all for my slides, but one of the questions I get a lot in the community right now is, would it hurt me to get another MMR? And absolutely not. It will not hurt you in terms of any long-term consequences. What vaccines do, and not just measles, but all vaccines, is that it's a very weakened It's a very weakened solution of some of the measles virus that is to stimulate your immune system. It stimulates your immune system to create immunity to that measles. So anytime you come in contact with measles, your body's going to recognize it and say, no, not for me because I've been vaccinated. So the vaccine, many times, you're going to have a sore arm. Many of you who've had vaccines, you probably had the sore arm that lasts a couple of days because your immune system is being stimulated to work. And what happens when our immune system starts working is that we get flushed. We may be have a low grade temp. We may feel fatigue. And that is very normal. That's what you want your body to do because your body then is actively creating that immune response that we want it to do. So generally after a vaccine, one of the things I recommend is just a lot of clear liquids for the next 36, 48 hours. Tylenol every 4 to 6 hours for again the next 36 to 48 hours. And then your body is working to create that immunity. And one thing I didn't put in here, but now it triggers in my head so if you just get the first dose of MMR or the measles, 93% effective, that effectiveness usually comes into play with 10 to 14 days after the vaccine is given. Same thing with the second dose. That's another question I get quite a bit is how long does it take to be effective? So I am going to get off of my PowerPoint and I'm going to stop sharing right now if that's okay. Rachel?
Of course, absolutely. Thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Cantu.
Okay. Have I stopped sharing?
Um, I
No?
still see your screen.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. So I'm going to take all of this off and I am open to questions that you
Thank,
may.
thank you so much. Friends, I do see there is a comment from Ashley Trevino.
Okay.
She said, wow, amazing, Dr. Cantu. So wanted to share that with you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, Ashley. And Sandra asks, why are measles cases on the rise? And thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for that question. That's a really good question. I really didn't want to get into, I have a PowerPoint slide, but one of the things we know in public health is a concept called herd immunity. So basically, the more people in a herd that you have vaccinated and protected, the less likely it's going to spread, right? So when you start decreasing the number of people that are vaccinated or protective, the virus is going to spread a lot easier. And so that is one of the things in public health that we try to do is encourage people to vaccinate, not only to protect themselves, but to protect the larger community, because there are a lot of people in the community that can't get vaccines, immunocompromised, children for some reason, people with cancers, other chronic diseases. So we're not only doing it for ourselves, but we're doing it for our family and for our community. And that's what we call herd immunity.
Thank you, Dr. Cantu. We have another question
Mhm.
from Emily. She said, I know they say disinfectant spray or hand sanitizer. Will it help?
Yes, it definitely will help. It definitely proper hand washing techniques, sanitizing, using hand wipes is always going to help. It's always a good practice to get into. It is going to kill most of the bacteria virus that might be in a room or where you're touching a particular inanimate object. But again, I remember those inanimate objects. So that's why again it's spreading so easily.
Thank you so much. I have a question too, and please forgive me. I'm sure this is a fairly obvious answer, but I don't know the answer to it. Um, is it possible, if you've been vaccinated when you're very small, as I was, I know I was likely an infant or somewhere near there. Is it
Mhm.
still possible to get measles or
Good question. Yeah, very good question. So, and that's something too I'm hearing in the community. So, there's no scientific evidence that you're going to have a waning of the measles immune response. So
oh,
there's no evidence like there's mumps. However, There are people who just want to be sure that they're still protected. So there's two options. One, like I said, you can go ahead and just get an MMR and protect yourself that way. The second is that you can get what we call a titer. And so you have your blood drawn, and there are laboratory tests which will show the titer or how protected you are. If your titer is low, yeah, the recommendation, you might want to get another MMR. If it's not, if your titer is within the normal range, you are still protected. Now, that may be a little bit more costly because you have to go to a provider to order that test, and it may be more efficient for you to get a vaccine. But again, those are two options that you do have.
Thank you so much. That's very helpful. We have a question here from Kelly who asks, have there been any cases with adults?
Yes, and in fact, in this current epidemic in West Texas, in the New Mexico area, many of those cases, I can't give you an exact amount. And the last I saw there were over 260 cases. So many of those have been young adults. And in fact, the second death related to this epidemic was in New Mexico, and it was a young man. I don't know, exact age, but it was a young man. And he died from complications of the measles disease. So yes, adults can still get it. I do not know if he was ever vaccinated or not.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
And yeah, I've heard the one child in Lubbock and then the adult in New Mexico.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. I want to make sure that I haven't forgotten anyone's question here. Friends, do you have any additional questions for Dr. Cantu? This is it's so helpful. And you'd mentioned that you don't mind sharing your
Yeah.
slides with us. Thank you very much.
Not at all. I can send that to you, Rachel, so you can put it on PDF.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you giving your time and expertise and
Sure.
care to share with us. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Um, this is so important and especially timely. I know our friends that are joining us, our educator friends who are with us here tonight, many of them do work with young children under the age of 5, so this is especially timely and relevant.
Right.
So thank you so much for
Yeah,
sharing.
and one thing I can leave everybody with is of course, our Metro Health does do mobile clinics, so they have a list on their website. Any child and their caregiver, their parent can go there. If you do have a shot record, please bring that. If not, they can look it up with the state of Texas for any evidence of that. So they're available. Also, you can reach out to me because we do also offer mobile clinics in the community. So you could just call me. Rachel, you have my contact information.
You.
And we can go back and forth in terms of scheduling something. Are these educators in schools?
Yes.
Okay, so if you want to talk with the school nurse and they're interested in having a vaccine clinic in your school, just reach out to me and let me know. We can arrange something, particularly as we think about, the end of the school year and then the summer. The earlier you get it, the better before the school starts of August 2025.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cantu. That is it's so incredibly kind of you. Oh, we also have another question in the chat. If there's a cost for the vaccine.
Yes, there is normally a cost for the vaccine. There are two things that you can, and children that are insured, private health insurance will, because of the Affordable Care Act and the changes that were made because of that, you're going to see vaccines provided, not provided, I mean, they are covered by that private insurance company. However, children that are on Medicaid will pay for those vaccines. We at the health department, and we are what's known as a vaccine for children provider. We get the vaccine from the state and we offer those at no cost to the parent or the child. So there are a couple of ways to get that. But yes, to answer the question, yes, there's a cost, but there are ways to manage that.
Thank you so much. And I'm writing it down and I didn't jot it down quickly enough. Can you say that a vaccine for children?
The program is called Vaccine for Children. It's a state program, and we're a provider. So we get vaccine from the state. so we can offer it to the community, particularly children that would qualify for Medicare, the Medicare plans.
Thank you. That is so helpful. And then we do have another question. This
Yes.
has been so helpful. So thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Can we do a clinic to come to our, can we have a clinic come to our daycares?
Yes, yes. And
Excellent.
just yes, we do mobile clinics. So we have a mobile unit, a mobile, it's like an RV, and we would arrange it with our pediatric nurse who's head of the vaccine for children, and we can do them there. There are certain criteria, like we need a parent to sign the consent. We need be sure they bring their records. And what vaccines to bring out. So all of those details can be worked out through email.
Certainly. Thank you so much. Um, this has been so just, I don't have the words, just beyond timely, helpful, relevant, eye-opening, and very, very, very much brings peace to my heart to know that there's this program, the Vaccine for Children. So friends, Dr. Cantu has graciously said that I can share her contact with you, so I will do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Thank you. This really, really helps.
Mhm.
And Ms. Toya says information is on point. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I wish everybody a good evening. Thank you for allowing me to come in and share and engage with you. And you have my contact information, certainly share it, and I will share the slides with you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cantu. We would love to see you again soon, and thank you for giving your time and expertise. We appreciate it.
Everyone have a very good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you as well. Friends, that was a delight. I'm so glad that Dr. Cantu was able to join us, and I'm so glad to be here with all of you. I'm going to share our slides real quick, and thank you. Thank you for your thoughtful questions. Oops, let me try that again. Here we go. Here we go. Can everyone see my screen? It says KLRN Resources for Families and Educators. Is that showing up? Okay, super. Thank you, Miss Ashley. Well, thank you, friends. I will send along Dr. Cantu's contact information for you, as well as the slides. So absolutely, thank you all so much for your thoughtful questions um, and for being here with us. I'm just very, very blessed to be here with you. So as always, we have some wonderful resources to share with you from KLRN. So if I may, I'll do that now. Please feel free to ask any questions. You're always welcome to share in the chat or unmute yourself with any questions. Thank you, Kelly. That's a very kind comment. Appreciate you all so much. Bright by text. And this is actually something I should mention to Dr. Cantu. So we connected just recently um, through a colleague, and it's like, this is perfect. We would love for her to be here to share with us. Bright by Text is if anybody would like to share in the chat, if you are would like to do so. If you are already using Bright by Text, I do. Um, it's pretty fantastic, even though there's adorable, very young child here. This is for all ages 0 through 18. Steps to enroll very, very simply. You can just scan the QR code. We love QR codes. It's QR codes throughout the presentation. But also you can sign up at this bit.ly link. You can also text directly. You can text KLRN to 2744448. You enter your child's birth date and you will get messages keyed to his or her exact age. Enter your zip code and you'll get information about local resources and events. So, as always, there's lots of important information that comes through this way. As many of you already know, I have a 16-year-old, and while there might not be information about developmental milestones that I'm looking forward to for him because he's already older. We do get a lot of good resources, especially as it gets very warm outside or very cold outside, about community resources that are available, cooling stations, warming stations when it's cold. Additionally, different educational free events that are coming up. And of course, KLRN's events are posted there too. It's especially helpful if you have or are working with younger children, as I know many of my awesome angelic friends here with me this evening are working with younger children. Um, you can get resources about developmental milestones to look forward to, activities that you can do at home, at school, really anywhere that are educational and meaningful. And of course, importantly, also free. So that's through the Hopes Grant of United Way, and you can sign up here. And um, glad to share that with you. Thank you, Michelle, for your kind words. I agree. Dr. Cantu is very knowledgeable and likewise, very glad to learn from her. Thank you for sharing that. Our Learn at Home page, just want to show you really quickly. Here's a great spot to keep up to date. I know my amazing friends. I'm so glad to see you all. Here's just a little bit about what we offer. Oh, looks like this one needs to be updated. But there's always something here, whether it is information for the youngest learners or the older learners in high school. We have language arts, math, science, and social studies, professional development opportunities, educator blog posts that have ideas for how you can align the. This one is needing to be updated, so my apologies. We have the different programs and when they air. Also, the PBS Kids 24/7 channel is 9.3. So if you're able to access that, it's 9.3, not on cable. It's not, excuse me, I don't know if that would be the channel on cable. That's just non-cable number there is 9.3. That is the 24/7 PBS Kids channel. You can also check out the PBS Kids app, which has games, videos, activities, in English and Spanish, all sorts of good stuff. And then we also have PBS Kids for Parents, which again is a fantastic resource, whether you're a parent, whether you're a teacher, whether you're both. So lots of good stuff there. Additionally, you can have the Family and Parents newsletter here, which is geared toward some of our youngest learners. And just want to share this with you as well. We'll start at infancy and moving up to middle school here. Lots of great resources you can access anytime that are totally free. Also events and workshops that are listed on our events page. So here's where we are right now. Tomorrow morning, we're actually heading to Uvalde to visit our friends and to share some fun activities together. So we're excited to share that with our friends in Uvalde. On Thursday of this week, we have Start Celebrating Spring with Sesame workshop with my colleague Elisa. Also tomorrow, just going to go backward a day really quickly, City Showdown, which is an initiative begun by my wonderful friend Ian at KLRN. It's really cool. It's basically a competition, a friendly competition among bands to see which is San Antonio's favorite band. Really cool. Next week on Wednesday, there's Women's History Month celebrating STEM heroes with PBS Learning Media. So in honor of Women's History Month, we're highlighting some amazing change makers. Then on April the 5th, my friends, at San Pedro Springs Park is Kids Day in the Park. This is a wonderful, huge, of course, absolutely free event. We would love for you to join us. You can RSVP here. And then also on Saturday, April 12th is Inclusion Fest with Carl the Collector. So we're going to screen an episode of Carl the Collector and have some fun sensory-friendly activities. It's going to be a very welcoming environment. It'll be right here at the Tobin Center, so not far from KLRN. So we hope you can make it to join us for these events. We always love to see you. It's always neat to see each other in person. So thank you guys. Please feel free to reach out to any of us. We're a small but mighty team, and we're always glad to be a resource wherever we can. You can reach out to us with any question. And friends, if you have any questions finding anything on PBS Learning Media that you're looking for, I'm really glad to help with that too. Of course, we're glad to help in any way. And if you just have a question, you're not sure who on the education team to ask, reach out here. That'll reach all of us, and we will find out how to work together to make it happen. So with that in mind, let's take a look at this video from the Healthy Kids Project because it really does take all of us, right? We've got to work together or this doesn't really work, right? So when we're all working together, we can all achieve a lot. And each one of us is bringing something different and something unique and something needed. And with that in mind, I just want to take the opportunity to tell you thank you for being you. Thank you for being dedicated. Thank you for being the wonderful educators you are. I know I'm going to say that a lot, but it's because I mean it. And you are very special and wonderful people. And I appreciate you. I appreciate your dedication to the children. I appreciate your dedication to education. And just for being amazingly creative and smart and finding a way to make learning fun in all that you do. You're awesome. My hat goes off to you. Let's take a look at help each other. We're going to see this right here. It does kind of glitch from time to time. Sorry, there's an ad on this one. This is true.
Help your brother choose what's right. You gotta help each other day and night. Oh, yeah. Help your sister choose what's right. You gotta help each other do what's right. You gotta help your mother, help your father, help each other do what's right.
Thanks, SP, for helping us make good choices. It feels good to do the right thing. Wanna feel great? Choose health. Be a
All this time on Zoom. And I forget to unmute myself. Thank you, Miss Leticia. Thank you, Miss Emily. Oh, great question, Miss Lisa. If we access the trainings online, do we get credits? It depends. The ones through the KLRN website that I'm not sure if you're asking about those. If you're asking about those, unfortunately, those do not offer credit. If you're watching the recordings afterward, if that makes sense. Um, if you are watching the ones through PBS Kids, I believe that's a separate link that is in the educator newsletter. Um, if it's those, yes, those offer credits, but I can follow up with you on giving you a far less clunky answer. I don't feel like I answered that very well. In a nutshell, let's head on over to KLRN because that'll make more sense, I think. All right, here we go. KLRN.org. All right, learn and school services. And then I think there may be, is it here? For the learning at home page. Oh, I don't know where I'm going. I apologize. Um, hmm. Professional learning. Okay. Okay, these ones right here. There are Teacher Training Resource Center. So this is considered where you are right now is a live virtual training, right? So you're here with me. We're all together. You don't have to have the like camera on or anything like that, but you're participating. You're taking part in it as we're watching the sessions, and then you're completing the survey afterward. So that together is what um, results in the certificate afterward. If you're watching the recording afterward, that doesn't provide, I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't mention. Okay, this is an outdated newsletter, and I'm sorry about that. That being said, there is. Okay, it's not here either. Alrighty. Here we go. Yes, it is. It was just not in the same spot that I thought. Okay, this part, which is about a little bit more than halfway down the educator newsletter, free fun professional development from PBS Kids. That's the Los Angeles in me. It's making me talk fast, right? Take me out of there, but you can't take that out of me, I guess, right? Okay, this is self-paced learning from PBS Kids. This, you have to sign in and create an account. It is free, but it does successful completion of all modules in a learning path leads to a certificate that may be eligible for state credit approval. So these will offer certificates, and that's self-paced. So I hope that helps. I'm sorry, I know that was kind of a clunky description on my part, but so the answer is yes and no. On the KLRN website as a recording, it will not offer a certificate. However, this one tonight will offer the certificate, and the PBS Kids self-paced one will lead. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Miss Ashley. You're so kind. So let's take a look at how we can build healthy habits. I know we've taken a look at this before. As we're talking about vaccinations, very important. You could see the numbers on the slides, what a big impact that it makes, right? So let's take a look at this here. This is from Sesame Workshop. I think it's just going to take a moment. I hope everyone's day has been going well today. Of course. Thank you, Miss Leticia. Thank you, Miss Ashley. Oh, I've got a friend in the waiting room. Okay, so this is a reminder that everybody deserves healthy food and some strategies to set the stage for a lifetime of health. 5210. Well, that's most of our area code for many of us, right? The 210. Aim for 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. So that's the 5, right? Under 2 hours of screen time. So for each day, we want to aim for 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, which isn't as much as it sounds like. It's not as difficult to do. 1 hour of movement. That's a big one, right? And 0 sugary drinks daily. Try to eat from all 5 food groups, being fruits, grains, proteins, vegetables, and dairy. Count the colors on your plate. Try to aim for at least 3 colors of the rainbow, including green. Invite children to join the 2-bite club. By taking 2 bites of a new food, it often takes many tries before children like a new food. How many of us can identify with this, right? Maybe ourselves, maybe our kiddos, maybe the children that we work with. Sometimes they're like, I don't like it. I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to try it. It's okay. We don't ever want to make a child feel forced. Just, okay, thank you, Miss Sharon, right? So it's definitely something that is not outside of the norm to experience. But sometimes it's, well, my vegetables taste better when they're cut in these shapes, or if I have them with a little bit of dipping sauce, right? Use what works for you. I reference this often, but there is this sweet kiddo in one of our family sessions that we offered online during the time when COVID was at its we're in the height of COVID, really. And we were all making different salads, and we were trying to incorporate different fruits and vegetables and something from every food group, right? And she was like, well, I really like blueberries with ranch dressing. Is that okay? Of course it's okay. That's your salad, right? It might not be something for someone else, but she liked it, right? So it's kind of making those that flexibility built in, right? Choose one food to focus on. Talk about where it came from and how it got to your plates. Chew slowly and notice the taste. So that's a good idea for slowing down, also building memory and conversation, and just a nice experience to close out the day, like for dinner or at lunch or at breakfast. I know breakfast can be a little bit more rushed, but taking time to sit down and think about, what we're eating. Even something about like where did tomatoes first grow, looking something like that up, or if you have a banana with breakfast, what kind of a plant that is and how it might be different from another type of a fruit tree. Oh, great question. What are some acceptable drinks? So what we do aim for is water being the best choice. It is important for our kiddos to drink milk, if they can, or plant-based milk. We want to try to include dairy in their diet. If they can have it, some kiddos, it's, not an option for them because, they can't um, process it the same way. But water is always a good choice. Our bodies need a lot of water. Our bodies are 60% water. So the main point there being, it's very important to always stay hydrated. So what we suggest is offering water all the time. Sugary drinks, we do try to avoid. With that in mind, we have gotten the question before, are artificially sweetened, sugar-free, but including artificial sweeteners, right? Are those beverages a good choice? Our answer to that is we don't know the entirety of the effects of artificial sweeteners, so it's best just to choose water anyway. There are some ways to make water a little more fun. So I know that in our sessions, my friends have shared some incredible ideas about adding different fruits and vegetables and herbs to water to make them. Agreed, right? Absolutely. Yeah, artificial. We don't really know 100% what it is and how it's going to affect us. So it's better just to avoid it. So water, you can always add some things to water. If you have a big, just a big pitcher that you can put water and lemon slices or cucumber, or one thing that we tried at the end of last year was apple and a cinnamon stick, which was interesting, but we didn't like it so well. And then we added some lemon and orange slices, and then it was just delicious. So playing with it, seeing what you like, what works well for you can kind of make it a little bit more interesting. But we do aim to make sure that we're staying hydrated by drinking lots and lots of water. Exactly. Fresh fruit cut up. Exactly. You could certainly do that. That would be a great idea. The importance of water, I did want to include this slide again. Unfortunately, it can be very easy to get dehydrated, especially when it is so hot outside and we are sweating. Oh, pineapple does sound delicious. So things to look out for when we are noticing signs of dehydration are these items here. So in us as adults, a headache can be a sign of dehydration, as can dizziness, tiredness, thirst, right? A dry mouth, crankiness, dark colored urine, dry skin, and constipation. For infants and children, infants and young children, excuse me, infants rather, there's fever, unusual tiredness, crying but not having any tears, a dry mouth, and no wet diapers for 3 hours or longer. So those are some things to look out for as signs of dehydration. Again, a way to combat that is by drinking lots of water, infusing the water. Oh, Miss Leticia, watermelon, absolutely. That's a great idea. We actually have a recipe coming up. Great minds think alike. Thank you, friend. So the daily recommended water intake is for children 1 to 3 years old is 4 cups. So 4 8-ounce cups of water per day. And you can break that up into, 8 half cups, or however, whatever situation wanted to do that in. But this is the total amount of fluid that they need in a day. 4 cups of water. 4 to 8 years old, 5 cups. 9 to 13, 5 to 6 cups. 14 to 18 is 6 to 8 cups. And as you can see, as we're adults, we want to aim for 8 cups a day. So what are some ways to do that? Making sure your child and children, yourself, that you always have a water bottle with you. A good strategy, and I was so glad that this happened today because I was just having a morning where I was like, okay, I have everything I need. And you know what I forgot? My water bottle. And I realized that when I was about halfway to work. Oh boy, okay. Well, wait a sec. I think I've got a water bottle in my office area, and I sure did. So I was like, okay, great. So is able to do that. Tea and coffee, that's a great question. Do tea and coffee count? Yes, but it's best to have water in general. The reason I mentioned that tea, um, if we are adding sugar to that, that's adding to the amount of sugar that we're having in a day. Um, and then also coffee, the same thing. Coffee, it seems like there are so many different um, theories on coffee. Like it's good for you, it's really bad for you. No, it's wonderful for you. No, it's terrible for you. And it just kind of goes back and forth, right? It does have its health benefits. I certainly wouldn't suggest drinking coffee instead of water, but it is liquid. And I think in moderation it's fine, but I would try to have that in addition to the 8 cups of water, if that makes sense. So instead of saying, for example, I had a giant cup of coffee, right? I had 2 cups worth of coffee, right? Like 16 ounces of coffee. Well, now I should have 6 cups of water instead of 8. I wouldn't do that. I would, for example, and I know that's not what you're asking. I'm just trying to explain it. And I would try to aim for those 8 cups of water, and then in addition to that, have coffee. And some days it doesn't happen as well as it should, but it's a goal that we should try to have. Make sure that, excuse me, your kiddos have a big drink of water after any physical activity to make up for any sweat that they've lost. Keep a jug of fresh tap water in the fridge where kiddos can reach it, especially on warm days, and make sure that you role model drinking plenty of water. One of the things that we do in our family that has seemed to help us is to kind of, I know it sounds maybe silly, but to almost create a schedule for ourselves. Drink a cup of water before, before you have anything else, before we eat breakfast, before we eat our food, and kind of just making that a habit for every part of the day. It does really help to keep you on track with how often you need to drink water and to stay hydrated throughout the day. So my friend Miss Leticia had mentioned watermelon and water, and this is a perfect opportunity to share this with you. It says Hydro Pop Surprise. This is a recipe that was created in collaboration with our wonderful friends at the San Antonio Food Bank. We really love them. They're doing amazing work. This calls for 3 cups of seedless watermelon, an English cucumber or seedless cucumber, peeled and chopped, and a cup of coconut water, no sugar added, and a lime. Okay, friends, it's really cool. It's a delicious recipe, and I have to let you know, I am one of those people who thinks that, like, okay, yeah, great, I've got everything I need for the recipe, and then it seems like 9 times out of 10, it's like, oops, okay, we don't have that ingredient. And in this particular situation, when we made this at our house, we didn't have coconut water. And, you know, we don't want to go out and buy something if it's one component of a recipe that you can substitute for something else. So we substituted water, and it was still delicious and it was still very hydrating. But I found out that the reason for the coconut water specifically is, you know how when we are dehydrated, or when we or our children or the children that we work with have had like a stomach bug and have gotten dehydrated because of diarrhea or vomiting, that we will have a sports drink or Pedialyte to help replenish that. Well, this is a sugar-free option. Coconut water actually has the electrolytes as well, so that is also a choice. It's a very hydrating thing. But here's the recipe, the printable recipe on. Okay, you can find that right here in the slides, or you can also sorry, you can also access it on the KLRN website. There's a lot of nutrients in watermelon, and I really liked your idea of adding that, Miss Leticia, to water. It makes the water taste great. It's adding extra nutrients and flavor. And drinking water and eating fruits, like it says here, drinking water and eating fruits and vegetables keeps your body cool during the summer. And these are things that our bodies need all the time, right? So with that in mind, why don't we watch this video? And we can see that right here on school services. We're going to go to the Healthy Kids Project. How many of our friends are familiar with the Healthy Kids Project? I know a lot of my friends, my returning friends. Miss Leticia, I know my friends are here that know the Healthy Kids Project. Do we have anybody to whom this is new? I think we've got some new friends joining us this evening. Hello, new friends. Hello, returning friends. I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, a question for all of my friends. Whether you already know this or whether it's new to you, feel free to share a guess in the chat. These are our characters. They're called the Zuber Tubers, and they walk us through the Healthy Kids Project. They are 3 vegetables, and they're all the same kind of vegetables. So they're not different ones. They're all the same vegetable, but just different iterations. Anybody want to take a guess as to what they are? And it's okay if you already know it. You can answer that too. That's right, Miss Mary. They are potatoes. Nicely done. Nicely done. I'm gonna a little woohoo, a little celebration there. Absolutely. They're potatoes because potatoes all look a little bit different, right? I have a fun story that well, I guess it's a funny story, but I'm not super proud of. Friends, I tried to microwave a potato and I did not put foil in it. I know not to do that. But I know that you can microwave potatoes to make like a baked potato in the microwave, right? You just wash it and pierce the outside skin to make a baked potato. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound morbid showing you pictures of the potato, so I'm going to scroll down. Okay, so I had a very little potato and I put it in for 7 minutes. The potato caught fire, you guys, so please be very careful. If you do that, our house smells like a campfire even after opening the windows. Please be very careful. Nobody was hurt, but it was really something else. So I'm definitely not quite the chef that I thought I was, or there's still a lot to learn. Let me put it like that. Okay, that's my embarrassing story for the day. So here on Healthy Kids Project, you can learn about the Zuber Tubers. You can learn about gardening tips. And you can watch recipes in English and Spanish by clicking on this tab or this tab. And you can watch all of the videos for the Healthy Kids Project in English or Spanish. Each one is just a minute long, and each one talks about a different health-related theme. So there's We Have Bodies, Hello Body, Sugar, Master of Disguise, The Couch Potato Blues, Not About Perfection, Help Each Other, that's the one we saw, The Water Song, Foods That Grow, all about fruits and vegetables, Healthy Choices A to Z, and Health Feels Great. Just below this, we can see the lesson plans, and there's a set of lesson plans for family lesson plans, which I also want to say about that. It is excellent for families, also excellent for educators of our youngest learners. So if you're an infant teacher, if you're a toddler teacher, there's some great resources right here. Each one is aligned to a video of the same name. So if it's We Have Bodies, it's aligned to the We Have Bodies video. Hello Body, it's aligned to the Hello Body video. Help Each Other, aligned to the Help Each Other video. So something for each age group, and also some accommodation ideas for children that may have special needs, or just to make the classroom as accommodating and welcoming as possible. So without further ado, let's watch the video for Hydro Pops. It's right here. And again, you can see it in English or Spanish. And this is our wonderful friend, Miss Ethel from the San Antonio Food Bank.
Hey friends, welcome to Healthy Kids. It is summertime, which means we need to stay hydrated. And I've got the perfect recipe for you, Hydro Pops. Let's get started. We already have some chopped up watermelon and cucumber. We're gonna add that to our blender. We're gonna add some coconut water, a little bit of lime juice, and then we are ready to blend. That's gonna take about 5 to 10 seconds. Just get it to the consistency you like. Now, we're ready to pour this into some empty cups or a popsicle mold. Let it freeze for about 6 hours or more, and you'll get something just like that. Now we're ready to stay cool. Stay healthy, friends. See you next time. For the full recipe and more recipe ideas, visit klrn.org/healthykids.
So thank you, friends. It's quick, it's easy, it's fun, and it's really tasty. And if you're like me and you don't have coconut water, it's absolutely fine. You can just replace the coconut water with just regular plain water. Any questions so far, my friends? Okay, don't hesitate to reach out if you've got any questions. I want to hear your comments and ideas. It's always a joy to talk with you, friends. Here are some health resources from PBS Kids for Parents, and I wanted to share this one in particular with you because we're putting emphasis on career choices. You know, there are so many different ways that we can help each other, and there are things that our children may be interested in now as very young people in the world, and they're looking at, this is interesting to me. Here's how I can help. How do I find out more about this? And so there's this great set of videos called What Can You Become? So there's nurses, doctors, healthcare providers that take care of people every day. Can I share a story with you? Can I just like take a little minute to just, okay. About almost 4 years ago, I needed to have surgery. And when I was brought back into the room after the surgery, I I was still kind of partially sedated, and I heard a friendly voice with masked face, a friendly voice say, "Look at my name. It's Rachel Salinas." And she went, "Mrs. Salinas, it's me, Gabby." Well, me, Gabby, was my old student. She's one of my high school students. And I felt so very honored to have the person taking care of me that was just an amazing student that I had. And she's like, "Yeah, I decided I wanted to be a nurse." Like, "I'm so proud of you." And she was just a wonderful nurse. And, we got to chat. Um, you never know the amazing things that the people we know now as littles and as young people, how they're going to change the world. And it's because of the amazing work that you do, my friends. So I felt lucky and thankful and blessed to know you and to have been taken care of by such a wonderful person. And I'm going to share this with you now. Oh, Hydro Pop surprise. That didn't take us to where we were supposed to go. Let's see here. Here we go. What can you become? So here we go. This is right here on PBS Kids, totally free. Each one, as you can see here, is about 3 minutes long. And this is nurturers. There's builders, animal lovers, movers, tinkerers, snackers, nurturers, observers, and scribblers. So why are they named this? Well, think about the things that we enjoy doing when we're really young, right? Well, how do we kind of put that into a group? Nurturers, that could be a nurse, that could be a doctor, that could be a medical assistant, that could be a paramedic, that could be a lot of people who are helping others who need help when they're at their most vulnerable, right? So this is about 3 minutes long. Let's take a look. It's really sweet. Here we go.
Oh, you have a broken wing. I can make you feel better.
What can you become?
I'm gonna make you feel all better. If I could use the tape, because the tape might work.
Oh, hey,
Who are you?
I'm Kevin. If your dragon is hurting, I can help. I'm a nurse.
When you were a nurse, you can tell everybody.
You know, that's a great question. Nurses help people who are sick or hurt, just like how you're helping your dragon. I work with doctors, nurses, and other helpful grown-ups to make sure everyone is healthy. People come in when they've broken their bones or they've really hurt themselves.
I've never broken a bone.
Kids are strong. They get hurt and they bounce back up like nothing ever happened.
Like, if if you break an arm, your arm might not move that much. It just be like bleh. Look, I have a medical kit.
Oh, awesome. What's in it?
You put it on here, like this. Then you put it on somebody's heart.
What do you hear? Do you hear anything at all?
I hear nothing.
You want to try mine? I can give you mine. Here you go. You're close. You're very close. You may want to turn it upside down, but you're very close. I like the creativity. Now, do you hear anything?
Hi friends, I'm really sorry. I just wanted to make sure, is the video showing okay for you? I did get a couple of messages that it's not showing up. It's just showing up black. Can you just give me a thumbs up if it's working, or let me know yes? It's freezing. Oh, sorry. Okay. No video. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Um, I'll let me try it again and see. It's skipping a little. Okay, thanks for the heads up. I think that might have been what was going on this afternoon because I logged in about a half an hour before our session began and all sorts of issues with the computer. Let me see.
I can.
We use this to listen to a few
How about
things. We
now?
can listen to your heart, your lungs. We use this a lot as a nurse.
Do you work by yourself or do you work with other people?
I work with about maybe 10, 15 grown-ups every day. And when we work together as a team. And as a team, we help people feel better and get well.
If I were a nurse, I would help all my friends.
We help people of all ages, sometimes tiny little babies, all the way up to parents, grandparents. We take care of them.
I like what you do, helping people.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of same interests. You like to fix things and use tools like I did, so I think we're very alike.
Okay, thank you, friends. I appreciate you letting me know. I'm sorry that it seems to be skipping at least. Thank you, Miss Ashley. Thank you, Miss Lisa. I'm sorry about that. Okay, let me close out some of these tabs and see if that'll help. Apologies, but that is, I'm going to fix that link right there on slide 13 so that you'll have the link to that video and the other videos as well. Thank you, friends. Some classroom posters, just wanted to go ahead and include this in there as well. Here's where you can get a larger version of that. The wash your hands posters, lavate las manos posters. It's the exact same thing. One's in English, one's in Spanish. Those are both right here. And I mean, we say that a lot, right? Especially as educators of young kids or even older kids, it's important to wash our hands, but it bears repeating, it's important. PBS Kids is a fantastic resource. I know that many of you include the use of media in your classrooms, which is wonderful in your learning environments. And media is definitely something that can be useful, but we want to balance that. So here are ways to search with the characters. Right here, I'm gonna choose this fella here. Who knows him? Does anybody know this guy right here? Carl, that's right, Miss Ashley. He's Carl the Collector. Yay! Thank you so much. Absolutely. He is a warm-hearted autistic raccoon. These are his friends. This is his best friend, Sheldon. He is a beaver. This is Lotta the fox. And there are two sisters who are bunnies, and I see one of them. But they are twins, but their personalities are definitely their own. Oh,
Activities.
I'm sorry. Friends, can you see my screen? I'm sorry,
Activities.
friends. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Thank you. Um, hmm. I will be sure. Oh, thank you, friends. Thank you. I'll be sure to send you the slides anyway, afterward. I'm not sure if Dr. Cantu's slides will show up at the same time as mine, but I will make sure to get those to you nonetheless. Um, That might just be in a separate email. So if you don't mind waiting maybe a couple of days, we will be in Uvalde tomorrow for our friends there. We meet up with them every year, and it's always nice to see them. But I know we're not going to really be in the office tomorrow, but I'll be sure to get the slides from Dr. Cantu sent to you just as soon as possible. PBS Learning Media is another fantastic resource. I know that my friends who've joined me for the PBS Learning Media sessions, you know, I can talk and talk and talk and talk about that because it's really amazing. I would definitely recommend, if it is okay for me to just sound like a broken record yet again. There are some fantastic resources here. A lot of fantastic resources here. Friends, may I try just quick one. Okay, share. Okay, is it showing PBS Learning Media? Oh, it's frozen. Oh, and I just got the message right after that. It says your internet connection is unstable. Of course it is. I'm sorry. Okay. It's frozen again. Oh boy. Uh, okay. Let me see here. I'm going to continue on. It's not right. Well said, Miss Lisa. Okay, what I'm going to do is continue on with the session. Please feel free to let me know if Zoom is just giving me something to a hurdle to clear. If it continues to be a problem, actually, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. I am going to skip ahead really quickly. And I'm going to ask you guys to do this because I'm going to exit the slideshow here. Going to move on down to the post survey. Okay, my friends, can I ask you to scan this QR code, please? And in the meantime, oops, actually, hang on one second. Sorry, friends. Sorry. Okay, just going to open this up real big over here and then put this back on slideshow. Then I'm going to put the link in the chat because I know sometimes it's easier to do the link. Sometimes it's easier, especially for participating from the phone. You kind of can't scan the QR code with the same phone, right? Let's see here. Okay, if y'all can do this for me, just in case, if Zoom is being goofy, it is definitely not your fault. So I don't want you to miss out on the post survey. Here's what we'll do. The post survey is in the chat. And it's also right here. So I'll give you a second to click on that just to open up a new tab if you wouldn't mind. And you can click on it in the chat, or you can scan this QR code, whatever's easier for you. It's the standard survey. And you know, we want to know what you like. Anything that you wanted to share with Dr. Cantu. I know she did an incredible job, and you all had such thoughtful and important questions to ask. She graciously said that she will be sharing her slides and also that I can share her contact with you, so I'll be sure to do that. But just in case, you know, this starts lagging out and giving us all sorts of, you know, interesting Zoom hurdles, we'll have this. Okay, is it okay if I go ahead and take it off of this screen now? Did everybody get a chance to click on it? And okay, thank you, friends. Y'all are awesome. Thanks for being so flexible with this. It's like, oh my goodness, really? Okay, we're gonna head on back to right here. Okay, we were at PBS Learning Media. Thank you, friends. I appreciate you. Okay, so here we are in PBS Learning Media. We're going to head on over here just really quickly. And there are so many different things that you can find here. Because I had to log out of my computer, I'm not currently signed in. You can absolutely still access this. So let's say you wanted to see the Healthy Kids, right? Healthy Kids Project. Oh, excuse me. Forgot to put in the word project. That'll give us exactly what we need. And kind of like an old school internet search, you need to put it in quotes. If it's helpful, I should say, to put in quotes. You don't have to, but it just narrows it down by a lot. Okay, so the Healthy Kids Project, you can find that here. This little tab here that shows also in ES, that means that it's available in English and Spanish. And there are TEKs. I also want to point out a couple of things here. Favoriting. It says, great, if you'd like to favorite this, go ahead and sign in. The sign in, oh, that's okay here. I will put it in the chat one more time. There we go. There we go. The link is right there in the chat. Thank you, friend. So right here, you can see this is in English or Spanish. And you can absolutely access it. So it plays, it's going to be in English and Spanish. The standards, I want to let you know, you do need to sign in to see that. If you want to sign up, here's what it looks like. You can sign up with Google or email. Here's what it looks like if you want to sign in through email. First name, last name, email, and to create a password that's at least 8 characters, including both letters and numbers. Of course, please read the privacy policy and terms of use if you agree to that, and you just create an account. Thank you so much, Miss Leticia. You're so kind. I appreciate that. But I do already have an account, so I'm going to sign in and, oops, there we go. I'm going to sign in with my email, and all of us have our PBS Learning Media accounts. There we go. And sign in successful. Oh, thank you. Wonderful. Good job. Okay, so right now it's saying, okay, Rachel, I'm an admin on this, which means that I have added content onto PBS Learning Media. And I want to let you know this is most definitely not me whining about it. It is a rigorous process, which is good, right? Anything that we're using in our classrooms, that we're using in education, we want to make sure it's aligned to the TEKs that it says it's aligned to, that it's valuable educational material, and that it's getting audited for correctness, which is everything that does happen here. So I want to let you know it does have to go through a pretty specific set of steps to make it onto PBS Learning Media, and then it's periodically checked to make sure that it's accurate. So I say all that to mention it's very trustworthy. So whatever you're wanting to look up, again, let's take a look at the Healthy Kids Project, right? Healthy Kids Project. That lives on KLRN's website, and it also lives here. The more in-depth version lives on the KLRN website because it also includes the family and early childhood educator resources and the pre-K resources. However, and also the recipes and the gardening tips and all those fun things. Oh, thank you, Miss Lisa. Everything that is here is also on KLRN's website, but I want to show you how to find it here because every now and again, one thing that I've heard is if there are YouTube or YouTube connected links, sometimes the school's firewall won't allow it to be played, even though it's, you know, perfectly fine and suitable for classroom. It's because it's YouTube. So I did want to mention that typically PBS Learning Media videos don't run into that, especially okay, not sure what happened here. Media isn't supported in this browser. Technology is just keeping me on my toes this evening. My internet connection is unstable. Oh my goodness. Okay. My friends, thank you for your patience. You are awesome, and I appreciate you. We're going to go through the next slides. Please let me know if the internet is being goofy on my end, and I will go back and repeat anything or answer any questions that you have, as always. I'm sorry. Okay, I want to show you a couple of things. You can favorite the item, which I'll do right now. You can see it in English or Spanish. I'm signed in, right? Standards. Okay, this is important, right? As we're writing lesson plans and talking about what teaks each of our lessons or activities, whatever we're doing in class, everything's right here. No need to reinvent the wheel. I mention that because it's important to have access to this. Also, my friends, you can download some of the material that is on PBS Learning Media. Now, the Healthy Kids Project, the entire collection is here, all 10 videos. These are all downloadable. There are other collections on entirely different topics too that are also downloadable. Not everything is downloadable, but there are some that are. With that in mind, if you have the time to do so, and you read and accept the terms and conditions as outlined in the license, which is pretty straightforward, say yes if you agree to that, and then download, and you can have a copy of that yourself. I would encourage that because it's helpful. So if you have the time to do so, it's something to consider. There's lots of different ways to show how to set up an account. There's even more video tutorials linked right here. So, and always, I love talking about PBS Learning Media. It's my thing. So anytime you have any questions about that or where to find anything, please let me know. Okay, so the Healthy Kids Project is is a program designed for families and educators of children between 0 and 9 years of age. So this is infancy all the way through about second or third grade. The Healthy Kids Project is supported by the San Antonio Medical Foundation, supported and distributed by KLRN, and created by Godel Productions, LLC. We've also earned the official endorsement of the San Antonio Mayor's Fitness Council, of which I am glad to be a part. So okay, I am so sorry, my friends. Um, Here's what we'll do. Here it is on PBS Learning Media. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what's happening with my internet connection here. I'm sorry about that. Here's where you can find it. Everything is going to be linked in the slides. The recipes are in English and Spanish. Lots of good stuff. So as you can see here, even though this is definitely connected to science and health and physical activity, there's also TEKS addressed here for reading, math, writing, and social studies. So a lot of different areas that are covered here. Here are the three characters. I think Miss Mary was the one who guessed that they were potatoes. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Excuse me, from left to right here is russet. This is russet. This is Yukon, and this is SP. In the first video, there are three potatoes growing in a school garden. They get pulled up and discover that it's amazing to be able to move. Our key message here is that health isn't about what we look like. It's about how our choices affect how we feel and perform. We want to choose healthy choices because it feels better to be healthy. So basically what's in here, just like all of our sessions, we link the videos and activities together. So it's kind of one-stop shopping. So from slide 21 onward, you'll see lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through 10. So there are 10 videos with an accompanying set of lessons here. So you'll see the family. Also, we could call this early childhood educator lesson plans. You can pick from the ages that are best suited to who you work with. Pre-K lesson plan, kinder through second grade lesson plan in English and then in Spanish. Week of healthy choices in English and Spanish. And just really quickly, I want to show you this. This is linked right here. Here is a chart that you can print out, or even, if you don't want to print and you just want to have it maybe like on a dry erase board, or I mean, you can get really creative with how you do this. My mom, she's passed on now for about almost 7 years. She is very near and dear and very much a giant influence on my life. My mom. I was very lucky to have a wonderful mom. she was kind of like, she was kind of a trendsetter. Like she was doing all these things before, it really became like, hey, this is a good thing to do. Um, Very much loved the earth and just everything. She's just a neat person. She was really big into recycling everything. So we rarely threw away stuff. It's like, no, we can find another use for it, to the point where it would be like, okay, we're working in the garden. It's like, is there a bottom of a 2-liter soda container? Okay, we can use that as a planter, right? All sorts of different creative ideas. How can we turn this into something else? So with this, I say that to mean if you want to print it out, absolutely great. If you wanted to even had teach your kiddos a lesson on recycling, reduce, reuse, recycle, saying, okay, we're going to take the backs of the cereal boxes and we're going to, write this on there and help them to track their healthy choices. It's going to be sturdy. It's going to help them learn about being, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Miss Ashley. She really was. And I know you are too. You're an amazing mom. Um, to be able to see like how you can do this throughout the week, it makes it a little bit more, I guess empowering would be the word, right? Like I can do this. I can eat breakfast every day, right? And what does that look like? What does a healthy breakfast look like? Maybe I'm not very hungry in the morning, but what can I eat? Well, maybe a banana and some cereal, right? We would have that a lot, banana with cereal. It doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be difficult. Maybe you have an egg. Maybe you have, a cheese stick and an apple, right? It can be something light, but we want to make sure we're eating all the time. Got plenty of sleep last night. That one's a little trickier to figure out, especially in our house. I feel like um, I am a morning person and I have 2 night owls in my family and I'm not one of them. But finding a way to get plenty of sleep, like, okay, well, if I can go to bed this early and I can wake up this early, how much sleep am I getting? Am I feeling well rested enough? Finding time to exercise. And then even kind of using this for ourselves too, right? Um, Giving ourselves some grace. Okay, well, what does that mean? I am all about like, okay, I'm gonna give myself points for this, right? If I had to park really, really, really far away at a school, like across the parking lot and walk, 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 okay, you know what? That's kind of counting toward the steps. I'm okay with this. Or even if it's like, walking across the grocery store parking lot, whatever it is, find ways to work that into your day. If it's something that you can do and that's available to you to do, take the stairs, right? Instead of the elevator. Again, if you're carrying like a bunch of stuff with you, as I know all of us teachers are doing, don't take the stairs if you're carrying a bunch of stuff. That's just not safe, right? But finding ways to incorporate exercise in our day. Stretching, finding exercise activities that you enjoy, playing outside. That's a huge one. That's exercise and it's fun. So it doesn't have to be a chore. These can be things that are fun. Um, Drink at least 6 glasses of water. So this is geared toward our younger kiddos. But that being said, again, we can kind of use this for ourselves, especially if it's something like um, if you need to start with a smaller goal than going from, very little water a day to 8 glasses of water. Okay, work to 6, then work to 8. Um, Figuring out a pattern that's going to work for you. And for our littles, finding a way to encourage them. Okay, well, you're waking up in the morning, we start our day, have a glass of water, right? We're starting, that's one we've knocked out, right? Then we have one with our breakfast, right? And then we have one in the middle of the morning. Now you're halfway done. So it's a manageable goal, right? I drank water instead of soda. That one's easy, right? Especially with all these great ideas that y'all have shared with me with pineapple and watermelon and cucumber and all of these delicious choices that you could put in water. Um, I ate at least one vegetable at each meal. I like this one, but I like the idea of modifying that a bit because um, sometimes, as we were talking about children needing a few tries to decide whether or not they like a food, oftentimes vegetables kind of fall into that category. I don't like it. I don't want to eat it, right? So saying I need to eat a vegetable with each meal, that can be kind of a hard sell. How about fruit or vegetable? Or both? Double points if you do both, right? What if you have eggs with some spinach mixed in, and then you also have an apple? Ah, you had both. You had vegetables and fruits, right? To figuring that out, like what works well with you. Or there's a really good recipe for a spinach smoothie or kale smoothie. Spinach smoothie is one of the two. We use spinach just because it's easily accessible. And as funny as it's going to sound, has anybody here ever had a spinach smoothie? Like a sweet spinach smoothie? It's weird, but you don't taste it. Like we can't really taste the spinach in it. We do that with frozen banana chunks. We'll just wait till the bananas get like really spotty and then we cut them into chunks and put them in the freezer, mix them with a little milk and some spinach, and it's fun. It's like a bright green and it's really tasty. Oh, thanks, Miss Maricela. Thanks, Miss Emily. Okay, very cool. I'm glad you like it. Um, and choosing plain milk instead of chocolate milk for lunch. If the children are drinking milk at lunch, that's a good choice. You can also change that out for something different. So there's lots of different options here. Again, also linked right here is the same exact thing in Spanish. So having a talk about how much sleep we need, that's important. Kind of building that into our routine, what steps you need to take to be able to sleep peacefully at night. I think that's just very, very important. So any questions, my friends? You're doing such a great job. All right, we're gonna move right along here. Um, Hello Body, that's the next one. This is an adorable video. I know we've been having a little bit of trouble, so I've been having a little bit of trouble with the lag. So if you can please let me know if it's lagging on my end. We'll decide how to move forward then, whether this is um whether this is a video we'll follow up with or not, or whether the next videos will follow up with or not. And again, you can choose English or Spanish. And the teaks are right here. There's 8 of them, and it's downloadable, right?
Good morning. That was some good sleep. Oh, it feels great to move.
Good morning, fingers. Good morning, toes. Good morning, smile. Good morning, nose. Good morning, eyeballs. Good morning, arms. Good morning, hands. Good morning, legs. Good morning, shoulders. Good morning, knees. Good morning, elbows and hips too, if you please. Good morning, balance. Good morning, chest. Good morning. Good morning, breath. My body likes to move and get a good night's rest. These are 2 important things that help me be my best.
Wanna feel great? Choose health.
So that's just an example of one of the videos. Was it lagging? Was it kind of skipping or anything? Please let me know. It was actually a few days ago. I think there was a cable at not like cable, but I think it was for internet or something. It was a few weeks ago. Knocked out the electricity for like several hours one day, and we're like, oh no, what's gonna happen? Like, are we gonna be without our electricity and without being able to get online? It's such a huge part of what we depend on for being able to connect and work. But everything got situated well, but I'm kind of like now I'm wondering, are there any new wires being put? So thank you guys so much for your patience. Y'all are just amazing. This one has its, oh my goodness, there comes that message that my internet is being spotty. Okay, I'm not going to put you guys through that. We're going to wrap up in a couple minutes here. trying to avoid sugar, that can be a challenge, especially when there's so many things that are prepackaged to be appealing and like, oh, that looks really cool, that looks tasty. Um, Also, though, like kind of a good way around that is if you have the opportunity to bring in 1 or 2 pieces of fresh fruit with a peel on it. Um, and just depending on like what's in season, what's easily accessible, right? But like it's a neat idea for show and tell and bring in an orange and everybody, okay, this is, what does this look like? What does it look like? A basketball kind of sorta, or what do you think it'll taste like, right? And many of our kids may have seen an orange and many may have not seen an orange. And okay, what does it feel like? Does it feel different than what you expected? Is this or a big orange and a little orange? How are they the different? How are they the same? What does it smell like? And then offering like a section of it, right, to be able to taste. Does it look different on the inside than you thought it would look? One of these that's really fun for that, and I know there's not like a long window of time that they are accessible and reasonably priced. So we don't get them very often. I know we get them for like maybe 2 weeks out of the year. Um, I don't really know when their growing season is, but kiwis. Kiwis are a really fun one to do this activity with because we know that they're fuzzy on the outside. Ask like, what do you think this is? What does it look like? What does it smell like? It really doesn't have a scent on the outside, right? Not a strong one. And then cutting it open and it's green and it's white and there's little seeds that are black and it's very sweet, but it's also kind of tangy and it just all these different flavors and things to experience and opportunities to build vocabulary, right? Does this taste like something? Does it taste a little bit lemony? Does it taste a little bit like watermelon? How does it relate to something that maybe you're already familiar with? So lots of neat ideas. And I mentioned that because fruit is awesome and it's very, very healthy for us and it has the nutrients that we need, like vegetables, to keep healthy. Sugar and soda, as we know, do not. They're not good for us. Soda pop, and I'm not meaning this out to vilify sodas, but sodas don't offer any nutritional benefit. Now I say this, and I was having a conversation with my kiddo who I'm wondering if he's going to go into law one day because he really loves to. Yes, but how about this? Have a conversation with me. So I'm like, maybe that's in your future. Um, he said, well, if you didn't have anything to drink and you were very hot and very thirsty, would it be better to have a soda or would it be better to have nothing at all? And I said, of course, it would be better to have a soda. But that doesn't make soda healthy, right? So if you are thirsty and dehydrated, yes, of course, soda or, sugary beverage like I don't know, like a Kool-Aid, right? Might be a better choice than nothing at all, but whenever possible, good idea to drink water and to make that our first choice because that's the healthiest choice. Same thing with candy. We're not telling anybody don't eat birthday cake, don't enjoy your favorite sweets. There are enjoyable things in life, right? Also, just like candy, and chips, it's okay to have them once in a while. Birthday cake, absolutely okay to have once in a while. It's just not something we want to have every day, right? So making those small changes and still being able to enjoy, excuse me, some of the less healthy choices every once in a while. The couch potato blues, this one just basically talks about how it is easy to fall into a habit of eating unhealthy foods and then just kind of like not really getting any physical activity, maybe just playing video games, watching TV. And if you do that for enough time, your body kind of aches. It's a weird phenomenon, but it's true. Like your back will hurt and your stomach will hurt. And it's just like, why do I feel so tired? Like I feel like I ran a marathon and I didn't do anything really. Like I kind of just didn't get the activity. Well, our bodies need to move and our blood needs to circulate. So it's important to find opportunities to move around and to find things that we enjoy so that we'll do them. Also important to remember, it's not about perfection. There are going to be times, I will definitely say this, if I am presented with donuts, like it's done, like my self-control just kind of goes out the window. So I have to be very, okay, one, and thank you, and I'm exiting the premises, like, or maybe like, let's cut it in half and eat it, because I love, love, love donuts. There's always things that, we're going to enjoy. If you overindulge in, let's say, chips or donuts, or ice cream, or all of the above, and you haven't been getting enough exercise and you just don't really feel good, it can be easy then to think, oh geez, why did I do that? I feel so bad about myself, and then to kind of spiral downward with that. That's kind of a normal response, but it's not good for us, right? So let's just remember, we all make mistakes, but we can make our next choice a healthy choice. So that's kind of the overall message of this one. Just, it's okay. Let's make our next choice a healthy choice. We've got this. We can do this together.
I can't see the video.
Oh, you can't see the, hi friend. I heard somebody mention that they can't see the video.
It's good and it's warm. No.
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm so glad that
Why don't you have your seatbelt on, baby?
I can't.
so we have the water song right here. This is just a reminder that all living things need water. And here is the water in me, el agua en mi cuerpo. And this is showing us just a very easy visual representation. I also like that this points out percentages, right? And what a percentage looks like. So 90% looks like about this much, right? 90% of our lungs are water. 70% of our brains, water. 60% of our whole selves, water. So it's pretty interesting to see, right? Our blood, 83% water. If you've ever donated blood and they tell you, okay, make sure that you drink a lot of water first and a lot of water afterward, and some juice, and have some cookies, because you need to replenish that, right? 22% even of our bones is water. So, and then of course, 75% of a potato is water. So fun stuff. Video and activity, foods that grow, just a renewed focus on choosing fruits and vegetables, because those are the healthiest ones for us. Healthy choices A to Z. This is a fun song that reminds us about things that are healthy, whether be they food or activities. And just that health feels great. We're all working on this together, and we all need to have each other's backs and just help each other out, because we're going to do better if we're cheering each other on, right? Quick start cards. Thank you, Miss Sandra. I appreciate that. These are the quick start cards. They're a lot of fun. Each one is connected to the video of the same name, right? So lesson 1, we have bodies. It's important to take care of our bodies. We need them for everything we do in life. And then it's kind of geared towards students, but you can always modify this to whatever's going to work best for you, right? So it says, can each student name 3 or more things the human body can do? Consider all kinds of tasks, from dynamic, like jumping, to subtle, like reading or listening. You can also start with this. Can you name one thing that the human body can do? Friends, everything's going to be the right answer. Thinking about the response is the right answer. Doing a jumping jack is the right answer, right? All of this, we need our bodies for everything we do. Even if we're thinking like, I don't know, I'm just sitting here, I'm just, daydreaming. Like I daydream and I think, am I doing anything? Well, yes, I need my brain and, I need all of that to be working well, right? So I need my body to do that. So that's, it's still important. Friends, you have been absolutely marvelous. As always, I really appreciate you. I know that the internet connectivity has been a little spotty, so I'm going to go ahead and put the post-survey QR code back up here. I'm going to put the post-survey link back in the chat, just in case you didn't get a chance to do it earlier. I am so sorry that Zoom was being goofy, and I really appreciate you, friends. I want to say thank you, as always, for being the amazing people that you are, and for caring so much for your littles and being so kind. Okay, my friends, I'm going to stop sharing, and I will stop recording. And here we go.